Hey everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally and further strengthen your brain and your heart coherence as well. Get a plant-based diet going for yourself today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and to get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity. Send me some love telepathically. Set attention to your mind and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit on how we can't actually use logic purely to go about explaining or even understanding life and its totality. And this fits in right in with yesterday's video of not allowing your perception to purely guide you, or trusting the five physical sense because it's a veil or it's an illusion. It's not real. It's just smoke and mirrors. The five physical senses. It's something that can be broken through. It can be ruptured. It can be pierced. And what lies on the other side is eternities. Okay, and you can't always use logic to explain these things, or even life in all of its totality, because it's not purely logical. It's very, very illogical as well. Okay, and most of the time it's actually illogical because there's a lot more that we can't use words to even speak out, because words are very, very minute in themselves to begin with. And when you try and use a logical way of explaining things that you have experienced, it won't always work because it's something that is very illogical when it comes to, let's say, breaking through five physical sense, or having mystical experiences, or having experience that goes beyond the physical or even mental. When this happens, you can't use logic to go about corresponding or doing whatever you're doing in the universe. So you got to understand that it's illogical and it's irrational, and it's more of a harmonious nature, more of a chaotic, and more of a creative musical type of nature, instead of purely mathematical, purely logical, purely masculine, purely left-brained. It's more so that it's gonna be more illogical because we've been living very, very masculine. We've been living left-brained, especially in Western civilization. If you're an American, you're very left-brained because this is the way we do things. We rely on sciences. We rely on logic. We rely on math. We rely on all these left-brained energies. And this is the way Western civilization is living for the most part. And then you go to the East, and it's more right-brained. It's more illogical. They're more mystifying. They're more spiritual. They're more subjective, more collected. They're more God experiencing. So understand that logic isn't always needed. This is something that they've conditioned into you as well, to live your life logical, especially if you're living in the Western civilization. For the most part, they're telling people or programming people that you need to all the time use logic, or you need to all the time use your intellect, or you need to all the time use your intelligence, but you don't always need this. Um, that's just something that they program into you to keep you imbalanced, and imbalance can lead to disease that you're uneducated of, that can just be taking your life in very in variable duration. So the thing is, it's like they're imbalancing you because they're programming you to live a certain way that is not how we're supposed to be living when we're in our holier states, or our more balanced states of being. And when we are imbalanced for prolonged periods of time, we become ill, physically or mentally ill, and this then leads to collective illness and collective imbalance, and then this can lead to a type of self-destruction. And this is what warfare is, and this is what all of this type of stuff is that we are seeing nowadays. Because you're not supposed to be living purely logically. You're not supposed to be living according to time all the time. You're not supposed to be living in time consciousness for your entire life. You need to at least balance timeless consciousness and time consciousness, because you can live outside of time. And this is a beauty. This is a liberation as well. So understand that it's not purely logical, and don't try to live purely logical, because that's an illness. It's an imbalance, neural activity or neural functioning to be purely logical. But you got to understand that it needs to be balanced. You need more of the chaotic or creative side of things, the more musical side of things, the more illogical side of things, and the irrational side of things, to where you're like not so heavily logically overthinking things to get to point A to point B throughout your whole life, but more so just act without even thinking, just to do things, or just be. Because that's when you start to really get into the flow of things, when you stop thinking about things, and when you allow the divine design to take its course, because it is all divinity and it is all design, and you're just flowing in that, because you are it, and it is you. And this is why you don't need to logically overthink things your whole life, because that's just an illness. Nobody really wants to be overthinking for 15-20 minutes straight just to get from point A to point B, when all you got to do is start walking, and you never really have to think about it at all, logically. But yeah, it's an imbalance, and this is the way they've got people to live. There's left-brained civilizations, and there's right-brained civilizations that are dominated, by this either the masculine or feminine energy. And then there can be like tiers of the civilizations, where the higher you go, the more consciousness is going to arise within the people inhabiting the higher tiers of it, and the entities. And then you can come into more balanced states of brain usage, like ambidextria. But it takes masteries for that in itself. You can't just go achieve ambidextria. It takes real work towards it. It's very, 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 you need to go to the discipline in order to be able to use your brain in this way. But once you are able to do that, you will become very godlike, because you are God. But it's just so that they're bringing people's health down. They're bringing people's wealth down, their wellness, their well-being, because as they're bringing people's wealth or well-being down, or health, we're lowering in our vibration. And as we lower in our energy or vibration, we're simultaneously lowering in our consciousness. And they want us in a very low consciousness so that they can keep us under control, and they can continue using us for our multidimensionality so that they can power whatever technologies they're using to continue controlling us, you know. So what you got to understand is that it's all about understanding that it's all divine design. It's all divine design, and you don't need to logically overthink things your whole life. You can let go a little bit. You can not think. You can just flow, you know, because things are already acting, or things are functioning in a divine design, right? This is God, and you are it. You are God. Okay? Now, just be. Let it all go. Don't overthink things, and don't try and control the universe, you know, because you aren't a controller, and there's no controlled. It's just that's an illusion. Nothing is really controlled, or nothing is controlling. It's just one organism. It's just one happening, one eternal now. And there is no control. That's an illusion. Any sense of control that you ever have projected out from yourself is just an ego trip. It's just a small dimension of your intelligence. You know, there's no control. And I've had the experience plenty of times of breaking away from illusion of control, and it's very liberating. There's everlasting, wants to say, everlasting joy in that, because you understand that you actually aren't in control, and everything is just kind of like a wind at your sails at that point. You know, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be, and that's all that there really is being. And once you're at that stage, you can understand then that, well, it's all one organism, and it's God, it's the universe. Now what do I do? Just enjoy it. It's literally just like a ride, you know, like an amusement park ride, or it's like a movie. You know, all you got to do is enjoy it, because all you are is the watcher. Okay, you're just consciousness. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's all I had to really talk about today. It's all about logic, okay, and not living purely in a logical understanding of life, because life is very, very illogical and irrational, okay. And living purely logically only, or trying to, is a disease, because it's imbalance, and imbalance is disease, okay. Because imbalanceness leads to lower states of energy, and lower energy states is literally illness. So once you are past living purely logically, or at least understanding that you can't live purely logically, then your organism is gonna start freeing itself up from trying to control things, or logically live 24/7, you know. And then you're gonna start recognizing your illogical sides more often, and you're gonna start realizing what it is, and you're gonna start opening up your intuition more often. You're gonna be able to start flowing with life more often, instead of trying to think yourself from point A to point B. Rather, you're just gonna allow everything to do what it is doing, you know, which is divinity, okay, which is all it is at the end of the day. It's just divinity. Everybody's divine, everybody is God, everybody's one energy, consciousness, eternal energy, okay. So that's gonna be it. Once again, I hope everybody did enjoy the video today. Peace out. Generate some static electricity from the etheric body, or the first layer of the aura. It needs to be strengthened and realized for the collective rise in consciousness. I love you, everybody. Have a great day, and peace out.